Hello, my name is Shane, and today I'll be teaching you how to play Love Letter by Alderac Entertainment Group. The object of the game is to be the last player standing in order to give your love letter to the princess. The way you do this is by using their character's abilities, and I'll be explaining that next. The first player is the person who most recently went on a date. If no one has or if someone is tied, the younger player goes first. To start the game, the dealer discards the top card and then gives one card to each player and leaves the deck in the middle. These roll cards are kept secret and it determines what actions you're going to take on your turn. So let's say it's my turn, I have my roll card, I pick up a second card from the deck, and then I get to choose which card I want to discard and then use that character's action. So for example, I can discard the priest, which allows me to look at another player's hand. So I can look at this player's hand and see what card they have, which could influence, a future action. Play continues in this fashion until all other players are eliminated or there are no more cards in the deck to draw. Once that happens, the player with the highest card in their hand wins the round. The guard is the most common card, and there are 5 of them in the deck. When using the guard, you can guess another non-guard character that a player has. If that player has that character, then they are eliminated from the game. So for example, I can pick up on my turn, and then I just got a guard. So I can discard my guard, and I get to choose another player and ask them what their character is. If I'm correct, then they're out. So for example, I can ask this character if they're a priest, and then they say yes or no, but for this example, they are a priest, so they're out of the game, and they discard their card. So now it's just a 3-player game. The second card of the game is the priest. Discarding the priest allows you to look at another player's card. So for example, I can look at this player's card, and then that will influence my decisions in the future. For example, they have the Baron, so if they still have the Baron before my next turn, and let's say I have a guard, I can guess that they have a Baron because I know they do, and then they're out of the game. The third card is the Baron. The Baron allows you to secretly trade hands with another player, and the person with the lower numbered card is out of the round. So for example, I'm going to play my Baron and discard it, and then I'll look at this player's card and we'll secretly exchange our hands, and they'll see that I have an 8 and they only have a 4. So they get their 4 back, and then they discard their 4 because they're out of the round due to being lower than my 8. The fourth card is the Handmaid. When discarding the Handmaid, it allows you to ignore all effects from other cards until your next turn. So it gives you protection from other effects. So now, let's say for example, another player tells me to discard my hand with a prince, it doesn't affect me. The fifth card is the Prince. This allows you to choose a player, including yourself, to discard his or her hand and to draw a new card. So for example, let's say I have like a really bad card and I want to get rid of it, I can use the Prince on myself, so I discard the Prince, and then I discard my card, and then I draw a new one. Or, if I wanted, I can use my Prince. Let's say I know someone has a princess, I can discard my Prince and force them to discard their princess, which will kick them out of the round. And then they'll get if they aren't out of the round, they'll get a new card. The sixth card is the King. The King allows you to trade your hand with another player. So for example, I pick up a card at my turn, and then I can discard the King, and then I can trade my hand with someone else, and then I know what they have and they know what I have. So you generally don't want to give it to whoever's next. You probably want to give it to whoever's last, maybe look it out. But it can be very advantageous in certain situations. Let's say you have the princess and you don't want to keep it, you can force another player to have the princess and then they can't get rid of it. So you can use that to your advantage to get them out of the game. The seventh card is the Countess. This character doesn't have any direct ability that affects other players, but it has limitations on itself, where you cannot have the Countess and the King, or the Countess and the Prince. So for example, on my turn, if I draw a King, I'm forced to discard the Countess, which will indicate to other players that I either have the Prince, the King, or maybe the Princess. The eighth and final card is the Princess. This is the highest card and also the most riskiest card. If you're ever forced to discard your princess, you're immediately out of the game. That is the only stipulation with this card. It's a very good card to have because it's the highest and it trumps every other card with its value, but at the same time, it can be used against you if another player finds out that you have the princess, because you really can't get rid of it unless you trade it. Thanks for watching how to play Love Letter. I hope to see you in the next video to see us play. Bye!